If you haven't already, be sure to grab your free copy of my first two books, Frugalpreneur and Authorpreneur, by going to thesarahstjohn.com/free. That's THESARAHSTJOHN.com/free. Now on to the show. Welcome to the Frugalpreneur podcast. I am your host, Sarah St. John, and my guest today is a film director and producer with years of professional experience. He has directed and produced music videos for big-name artists and now produces commercials. Welcome to the show, Mike Vannelli.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Glad to be here.
I'm curious, what big-name artists have you worked with?
So when I was kind of starting out, I did music videos for people like 3 6 Mafia and Wiz Khalifa and Machine Gun Kelly, like a lot of rappers. A buddy of mine was one of their like assistant audio engineers, and he worked for Sony. And then he kind of said, hey, they're looking to bring somebody on to direct some of these music videos for some people, because I guess they had somebody else and they went to do other stuff. And so he said, can you come in and maybe take over? And so I did. So I was doing that for probably like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, wow. So were you doing video before he asked you to do that, or?
Yeah. So I was doing just like freelance video, kind of whatever I could get my hands on, whether that's ads or wedding videos or music videos or literally whatever people would pay me to point a camera at that, I would do. So
how did you get interested into videography and things like that?
I've just kind of always been interested in it. My parents say that when I was little, I picked up a camera and started filming, and I've kind of just always been into it and always wanted to do it as a career. So
you skipped right over photography and went straight for video.
Yeah, I dabbled in photography, and right now we do photography like on a as needed or requested basis, but that's not what I like to do. I mean, I do like to do it, but that's not my forte, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And then how did you transition from like music videos into commercials?
So it just got to a point where I was doing so many music videos that I just kind of wanted to do something different, because there's only so many formats to different music videos, especially in hip hop, R&B, and rap. There's so many formats that you can do. So I feel like I exhausted all of those formats, and I was kind of just rinsing and repeating when it came to making the music videos. And I tried to think of something that people would also say, here's money, make this. And other than things like music videos, commercials were kind of the next logical thing. And because there's zillions of products out there, doing product and brand commercials was kind of exciting because we get to do something different all the time.
So what different companies have you worked with for commercials? I know you have several commercials listed on your website. I recognize some of the names of the companies, but just curious if you wanted to name some of the ones.
Sure. Yeah. So we've done over 2,000 ads for lots of different brands and companies and products. Some of the more notable companies we've done stuff for is HP Enterprise, so Hewlett Packard, the computer company, Togo Sandwiches, Rakuten, DoorDash, Bumble, and some other ones that like Gibraltar mailboxes, which you probably don't recognize the brand, but if you go to like Home Depot or Lowe's and you go to mailboxes, those are all them. So those are kind of some of the more notable ones.
So how do you get those deals? Like, do you just approach different companies, or do they just find you, or referral?
So I'd say about 80% of people find us, and we've worked really hard over the years, kind of building a presence online, I guess. But we also use a lot of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn advertising. So when people type in brand video, or I need a product video, or this, or I need a commercial for my business, then we're hoping that we pop up and they message us saying, hey, we need this. This is our company. This is our brand.
So are they more like commercial ads like that you would put on Facebook or something like that versus TV commercials?
Yeah, we occasionally do TV commercials, but because advertising online is kind of where it's at. That's like 99% of what we do. And we like to say that we make the videos that people tend to skip over in front of YouTube videos. So those kind of videos. So, and then people know exactly like what type of videos those are, just those kind of ads.
So are they usually like 30 seconds or are they longer than that?
Yeah, they're normally, I'd say, between 30 seconds and 1 minute. Within the last couple of years, Amazon's really been like pushing their having videos on their product pages on like Amazon.com. So we've been doing actually a lot of those. So when you go to a product page on Amazon, they have all the pictures and then they have a video on the last tile. And we've been doing a lot of those recently as well.
Oh, wow. So how long does it take to film like a 30-second or 1 minute video? Is it like a full day to get that? I mean, I guess the filming is one thing, but then you have to edit it and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. So we kind of pride ourselves on how streamlined we have the process compared to, say, some other companies that we know do the exact same thing that we do. And kind of the thing that makes us unique is we pretty much say that if you've got 30 days, then we can make a custom video from scratch for you. Basically, once we take the info or once we get the info from a creative brief that we send the client, they send all their info. It takes us about 10 days for our in-house writer to write the script. And then we go back and forth a little bit for approval to maybe make some tweaks because obviously the client knows their product better than we do. And then one of the things that makes us unique is we actually have our own studio. So we have our own standing sets. We have a lot of sets that we made specifically for commercials that you see a lot in commercials. So we have like a living room, a kitchen, a coffee shop, a office, like a plain white background. So a lot of very like stuff that you would see people using stuff in commercials. And so we have those all set up. They're all pre-lit, so we don't have to light everything. We have all our own gear. We own our own gear, so we don't need to go out and rent. And then we also have a roster of kind of vetted actors that we've used in a lot of videos that have a very kind of like generic commercial look. So we don't have to cast every time. And then we also have in-house writer, in-house post-production, and on and on. So pretty much we know that a lot of people doing the same thing as us have to go through multiple things. They may write in-house, but then they have to find a location. They have to do a casting. They have to go into post-production. They have to rent their gear, all that. And since we all have that under one roof, then we can pretty much knock out a full thing in 30 days. And that's like a custom video that we're making just for them. It's not just like cookie cutter or whatever. And normally we have between like, I would say 50 and 100 videos going on at one time, 100 projects. And yeah, so we actually film, we used to film like 2 times a week, but because of everything going on, we're scaled down to 1 time a week, but we just film in an 8-hour day. We're in our studio. Since everything's there, we don't need to leave. We normally shoot between like 5 and 10 commercials a day.
Mm.
So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. And our actors are great because they're kind of different than other actors where, you know, they get one script and one call sheet where we send them the call sheet, but then they get 10 scripts with it. And they know like, okay, we gotta know a lot of lines this week and then we just shoot all the videos.
Oh, wow. And so then when the videos are done, then do you have like different teams or different people that you then send for the editing? Like you send a couple of commercials to this person and then, or what is...
No. So we do all of our editing in-house. So we have our head of post-production. He edits full videos, but he also does kind of the finishing touches on videos where like he adds like a lot of the more complicated graphics, or he adds the music and he does all the color correction. He does all like kind of the finishing touches. And then we have people in studio as well to be his like assistant editors to assemble the videos and ingest the footage and kind of do all the not menial tasks, but do all the busy work. And then he goes and finishes that up to deliver it to the client.
Oh, okay. So when a client comes to you at first, do they have an idea of how they want the commercial to look or like some of the lines or anything? Or do y'all just come up with it from scratch? Or I guess it probably varies.
Yeah, I'd say it's about 50-50. So I'd say half the time people either... It's very rare that a client comes with a full script. This is what we want. Can you do this? Normally, they either have all the dialogue that they want and they need us to polish the dialogue and also kind of do all the visuals. So they say, here's what we want it to say, but we're not sure how we want it to look. Or they do the opposite, where they say, here's an example of a video we really like the look of, but we still need all the dialogue written, or we still need all the voiceover written. And then sometimes people come to us and just say, hey, we have this product and you guys are the pros. Can you make a commercial for it?
So how does one decide that they need a commercial or that they should have a commercial?
I mean, within the lab, we try to keep up to date on advertising trends because stuff is always changing in the advertising world. And we try to keep up to date on what's working and what's not working so that we can deliver that for our clients the best and give them the best video that converts. And we always kind of tell people, and whenever we're talking with anyone, we say that video nowadays is the best converting thing online. So for instance, when you're scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or really anywhere, if it has a video, you're more likely to watch it or view it or ingest it. So for instance, more people are more likely to watch a YouTube video on a certain subject than to read a blog post. And so we pretty much say like video content is king when it comes to getting your message across or get your brand or product across, because it's not just one-sided, it's two-sided. So it's not only you watching the video, but it's somebody kind of talking to you about the product rather than just you reading an article about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I keep hearing, is that like whether it's YouTube or Facebook Live or Facebook videos or ads or even now TikTok and all that stuff, it's like I think people are, it causes people to stop scrolling, I guess.
Yep, exactly.
So do y'all do any of those like animated videos as well? Like I forget what they're called.
Whiteboard?
Yeah, stuff like that.
No,
okay.
We kind of pride ourselves on not doing that, because whenever we talk to clients, we always tell them that, hey, you'll get a custom video from us. It won't be what other people have. So the animated videos and the whiteboard videos, they're great. We're not saying the people who do them that they're not cookie cutter, but they kind of are. So unless you're getting something like custom animated with custom characters and blah, 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 but not a lot of people do that. So we pride ourselves on doing everything custom and from the ground up so that we're not taking pieces from old projects and all that.
Mm-hmm. And can you explain explainer videos?
Sure. So there's two kinds of videos that people tend to make for ads nowadays, at least. There's a commercial video and explainer video. So what we like to say is with commercial videos, they tend to focus more on the story than the actual product itself. So the product kind of revolves around the story when it comes to that. So maybe quick features of the product, or maybe just like touching on the product a little bit, but it's focused more on the story or maybe a metaphor for the product, something like that. And those are normally shorter, so between 30 seconds and a minute, and those are really meant to grab their attention. Explainer videos are when you really want to give a lot of information about the product, like a lot of features, a lot of like how-tos, a lot of things about the product. And so it's not so much about the story. So in that case, we say that with an explainer video, the story revolves around the product. So the product comes first, and then the story is kind of just there to help along the product. And where with commercials, it's kind of the other way around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. So I guess it depends on if it's something that's kind of complicated, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
or more of, I guess, a product maybe would be for an explainer video versus a commercial.
Yeah, I mean, it just really depends, because we've done commercials for other things and explainer videos for other things. So it really just depends on what the client's looking for, because some people with physical products, they'll want a commercial and they'll want more. For instance, we did this campaign for a coffee company, and they wanted a commercial video. And so really it was just kind of a lot of the commercials we did were people waking up in the morning and getting to work and kind of going through their day and having fun with people and doing all this other stuff. And then at the very end, it shows the coffee like helped them at the beginning of the day. So it really didn't revolve around the coffee at all. It kind of showed like the storyline, and that was for an actual product. And we've done explainer videos for services where it's just for an online service and just explains a lot about the service. So So it can really go in either direction.
Oh, okay. And then how do you boost sales with a video commercial?
So pretty much like I kind of touched on before, video content's king. So when you're showing a video on YouTube or on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, just everywhere, again, it's to make people stop and watch and learn. So basically, they are learning more about your product, their or business or service. They're kind of educating themselves, and they're actually seeing it in use and being able to relate to it, saying, "Oh, hey," like I said with the coffee. "Oh, hey, maybe I can't wake up very well in the morning, and these people look like they're waking up really easily. So maybe I need this coffee." So rather than just seeing a picture of somebody drinking coffee, they can actually see the product in use. It's not just a picture, a static picture or an article or something like that. So just again, it seems really simplistic, but it kind of is, where if you have a video, then it does convert better than the other types of media and mediums out there. So, and that just equals a boost in sales.
And do you do any like caption? Because I know a lot of people, they say, well, people might be scrolling through Facebook or YouTube or well, probably not YouTube when they're at work. Because that, okay.
Like Instagram.
But yeah. And like they can't listen to it. So they just read the captions. Do you do that at all? Or is.
Yeah, we can do that. Normally it's by request. So some clients will say, "Hey, can you do subtitles on it?" And yeah, we'll do subtitles. Or some clients actually, either if they don't want any of that, then they'll just say, "Hey, can you just do music only? So that can you create a commercial that doesn't really need any dialogue and can all be kind of shown through visuals?" And so we really don't need any dialogue. So when people are scrolling, they get exactly what we're trying to come across without even needing to hear any dialogue or read any dialogue.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So what tips would you have for someone to be able to get their video out there and have it seen more?
So one thing that we kind of picked up from another marketing person that we work with sometimes is he has a thing. It's with Instagram specifically, but it does work on some other platforms. It's called he calls it the 30-day $30 rule. And basically what that is it's just about boosting posts. So for instance, if you have a video that you uploaded on Instagram, or maybe you want to drive people to your Instagram profile, or even like a YouTube video that you did and you want people, when they click on your Instagram ad, to go to your YouTube video. And again, it is paid, but it's the reason we really like what he was talking about is because it's not that much money for the amount of conversions you get. So for instance, on Instagram, the least amount of time that you can have a boosted post running and the least amount of money you can do for a boosted post is 1 day and $1. And so you can even do automatic. So it looks at your audience that you already have, like the people already follow or that are already following you. And it can just kind of create an audience based off those people. So similar people. So all you do is I want to boost this picture or this video for 1 day for $1, and automatic. And then it usually get between like 300 to 600 conversions on that. So people actually seeing it and most of the time tapping on it or liking your page or whatever. And so if you do that one time a day for 30 days, then you only spent $30 and you're getting thousands of views and conversions that way. And it's just a really easy, it takes like 2 minutes on your phone. And that also works for some of the other apps and platforms as well.
So other than Instagram and Facebook, where would you recommend people placing their videos?
So YouTube is probably one of the best places, the YouTube pre-roll ads. And we do tell the clients that to not skip an ad, that it has to be 30 seconds or less. And so what a lot of clients have ended up doing recently is they normally have us make 2 versions of the ad. They have us do a 30-second version for the non-skippable YouTube ad, and then they have us do a longer version, which they can put on their YouTube, they can put on their website, they can put wherever. And then so that way the ad can't be skippable if they make it that way. You do have to set up like some Google ad manager, on the back end to like set up ad and things like that. But I think that YouTube Studio has like an easy way of promoting ads or promoting videos as ads now, just from your YouTube profile. So they made it a lot easier. But YouTube still reigns king on when it comes to watching videos. And because people watch so many videos, just having a pre-roll ad is a really good idea. Facebook is also good, but they're a lot more, they're one of the most expensive places to get views.
So
Yeah.
Can you explain the skippable and non-skippable and the 30 seconds versus, I think I kind of understand it, but not, I don't do a whole lot of stuff with YouTube.
Sure. So, for instance, if you go to watch a YouTube video and you're not a YouTube Premium subscriber, then normally there's an ad in front of your video. And so, normally the ads are longer than 30 seconds. So, you get the little skip icon in the lower right. And so, you just skip it and then you get to watch your YouTube video that you wanted to watch. However, you can make ads that are 30 seconds or less that you put up on there, and then you can set them as not skippable. And so what that means is that if the person, say, wants to watch the newest cat video on YouTube, then they have to watch that full 30-second ad before they can watch the video that they wanted to watch. So by doing that, they might have gotten a new customer from having that person have to watch that 30-second video and maybe saying, oh, this is kind of relevant to me. Let me look more into this before I watch the video that I was watching. Rather than if it's longer than 30 seconds, I think you still have to watch the ad for 5 seconds, but then you can skip it. And usually 5 seconds is not long enough to really grab a viewer. Occasionally it is, but normally not.
Yeah. I didn't know about that. So does that cost more than I assume to set it as non-skippable?
I know that it used to cost a little bit more, but I think the return on investment is pretty worth it because you are getting somebody to watch your full video rather than just a couple seconds. So if it costs a little bit more, you're probably making that in return, getting customers that way.
Mm-hmm. So how do they determine what videos to put the ads in front of? Like, is that all come down to like keyword targeting or something?
Yeah, I mean, Google owns YouTube. So Google is in the business of kind of getting the most information out of you as they can, which the reason why Gmail is free is because they don't read your emails directly, but they do see where you're, say, buying stuff from. You're buying stuff from Target or Amazon or whatever. And they are seeing what videos you're watching on YouTube. Say if you need a new ladder for your house or for your construction job and you're looking on YouTube for ladder reviews, then or you're Googling ladders at Home Depot, then they are seeing all of that you're searching for. So when you go on YouTube, they might put an ad up for a new ladder company or a new ladder product or accessories for a ladder. And so really it's targeting people that way. And it's gotten pretty smart. There have been times where I've sat through full ads because they've targeted me pretty well and I got interested in whatever product they were trying to push me with the ad.
So then it's not so much on the person who's submitting the ad on like keywords and stuff. It's like Google knows your search history and then if you have Gmail, it knows where you're shopping and stuff. And then I guess the video itself that they're trying to watch, it probably tries to align it with that subject matter.
Right. Yeah. You can put in some keywords and some things to look for and you can get really specific in it, but a lot of people, unless they know exactly what they're doing, unless they're like advertising gurus or whatever, then a lot of people just let Google kind of do what they do best, and that's to target ads.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess it works like Facebook in that you're only getting charged when your ad shows, basically, or
yeah. There are different kind of actions that you can take, and they do cost more depending on what they do. So, for instance, the least amount of money to spend is if you just want people to see your video, regardless if they click on it or not. So that's kind of the least amount because you're not guaranteed that you're getting a lead from it. But if you want to pay more, then you can get charged every time somebody actually clicks on your video. But then you're paying for that click, and that costs more than just somebody viewing it. But at least you know that if they're clicking on it, they're actually going to your website. They're interested in you rather than just watching the video.
Okay. And how many video commercials do you recommend a company or brand have? Would they just need one or maybe one per product? Or I guess it would depend on what they are.
Yeah, it just depends. So, for instance, if you have, if you have a product, you might want a couple different videos to see which converts the best. So, which video people are actually watching, and then maybe double down and get some more of that just to build more content. If you have a big catalog of videos, then yeah, it's a good idea to get a video for each one. So, we're working with this. I guess they're kind of a spa company, so they sell things like foot soaks and nail softeners and things like that. So they have a whole catalog of kind of different self-care product line. And so we're doing like 50 plus commercials for them right now because they have such a vast catalog and they want a video for each of their Amazon pages, each of their website pages, so that when somebody clicks on their product page, they can also watch a video on it. And then we've also done videos for people that we only do one video for them, and it's a really, really good video, and it's kind of evergreen, and their product doesn't change, and they've been using it for 5 years. So.
Wow, 50 videos, one for each product. I would think that would get pretty expensive. Or do you have some kind of like package deal or something?
I mean, we try to keep ourselves pretty affordable for a lot of clients. And again, it really comes down to like what I was talking about earlier, where because everything's in-house, because we have our own studio and our own sets and our own actors and our own in-house creative and our own equipment, we're not going outside for any of those. So that's how we can really bring costs down and bring budgets down so that we can be really budget friendly to people, whether they're a startup, whether they're working out of the garage, whether they all the way up to the big companies like I named earlier.
Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, and I don't know if you want to say, but what your favorite commercial is that you've done, or maybe a few of your favorites, if you have favorites.
Yeah, so we do like all the commercials that we make, so we wouldn't deliver them if we didn't. There have been a couple commercials that we've done that we do like. One was for a bidet company. It was kind of a awareness commercial because a lot of people in the United States, they don't use bidets, but a lot of people overseas, it's very common. So that was kind of a awareness commercial for saying, hey, these exist and these are what they can do. A couple other ones we've done one was a photo sharing app, kind of like Instagram, but a little more closed. So just within tight friends. And basically we had to show that it's never been easy sharing photos between friends until this app. And so we went through different eras of time. So we went through like the 80s with people with their Polaroid cameras, and it was the same cast for each time. So they were dressed in all 80s with Polaroid cameras. And then we dressed the cast in like 1920s, and they all had those big box cameras that looked like a big box with a lens on the front and like the fireworks for a flash and stuff. And so we had all that, and that was a pretty fun one. But yeah, those are a couple. But again, we've done over 2,000 ads to date. So it's at this point, it's starting to get hard to keep track of some. Even our accounts manager comes to me sometimes saying, hey, we have this client and they were wondering if we've ever done a video for insert product here. And if so, could we send them a couple examples? And I have to turn to like my head of post-production and say, have we done one of those? And he's like, let me check. And it turns out we did 4 of them and we just forgot.
Do you have those ones that you're talking about? Do you have them on your website?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check those out. Yeah. That's funny about the bidet. The only time I've ever seen a bidet in person was in Rome in our hotel room. And I kept thinking about trying it, but I never did. And now I kind of regret it because I'm like, why was I so afraid of that? But anyway. Well, I appreciate your time today. I think it's been a lot of good information. And was there anything else you wanted to go over that we hadn't discussed yet?
No, I think that's been pretty detailed.
And if people want to find you, they can go to thinkenvy.com. Your company is actually Envy Creative, but the website is thinkenvy.com. And then I'll also have show notes at thesarahstjohn.com/thinkenvy.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
If you enjoyed and found value from this episode, I'd greatly appreciate it if you rate, review, subscribe, and share at ratethispodcast.com/frugalpreneur. Until next time.